Welcome to Lauren's Crazy Pet Show, everybody. It's no secret that animals can absolutely change our lives. We're starting off the show today in Stonington, Connecticut, at a wonderful program where horses are helping veterans.
We provide a therapeutic environment for veterans to come and have time in a beautiful location and create relationships and trust-based relationships with our equine partners or the horses. We talk about empathy. So it's understanding what the relationship of how your emotions and the emotions of the horse connect and how they relate. And these are all skill sets. We use equine skills to teach life skills. So basically, it's not about creating great riders. It's about creating people who can navigate life and navigate kind of some of the things that they may be working on out in the real world. On the count of three, we're going to whoa. 1, 2, 3, and whoa. Stand.
Hi, I'm Victoria. I served in the U.S. Navy in 2001 off the USS John C. Stennis out of San Diego. I started working and volunteering for the Veterans Equine Therapy Services for about 2-3 years now. It has helped a lot in terms of gaining my confidence and quelling my anxiety. I also find it to be a good place to decompress. I'm a massage therapist as my job, so coming here and working with the horses really help out in having empathetic animals. Before this program, most of my knowledge of horses is what goes in and what comes out. So since this program, it's helped me learn how to work with horses, groom horses, all the safety involved in horses, and having these huge animals with different personalities really helps dealing with people in real life. For example, Coach, that's who's behind me, is kind of a goofball, and then the horse I was working with earlier is Percy, and Percy's a bit more high-strung, a little more stubborn, and knowing that I have to shift gears with the different horses keeps me on my toes, but at the same time helps me relax.
Hi, I'm Cassandra Rankin, and I served in the U.S. Army, and I am new to the veteran program. My uncle is also a part of the veterans program, and he was coming, and it seemed to be helping him a lot. So after I had all this time off due to COVID, I decided to come with him one day and just fell in love with the program because it's different from what I had worked with before. It's just very calming. You have to learn how to control your feelings. Your feelings will project onto the horses. So if you're nervous, they can feel that. So you really have to learn how to control your feelings to be calm, and that helps you stay calm. Staying home does not help my mental health at all. So I was getting falling into a pretty deep depression. So this program has helped me get out of my shell, get over my depression, getting me out of the house and just being around animals that are so healing helps you feel better.
The program is kind of unique in a way. It was just kind of like just happened when I found out about it. I worked for the VA. That was my last job before I retired, and we had a PTSD awareness day, and Craig, one of the founders of the program, was down there talking about the program, and I just happened to walk up. I saw that he was a chief in the Coast Guard. We started talking. He asked me to come out, visit, and I decided to join the program, and it did help me as far as everyday life. I think working with the horses helps all of us vets out here in our everyday life.
So I ended up getting the idea for starting this program because of an experience that my brother-in-law had. He had survived an IED attack back in 2009 in Afghanistan, and my sister got him involved in horses, and there was something there to it. You know, his tone would be up there in the morning, and then during the time with the horses, then especially after, you would see a huge change in his behavior where he's a lot more focused, a lot more relaxed, and speaking with him, the horses ended up becoming his new why in life, gave him a lot of purpose that he had lost after the IED attack.
You said to yourself, maybe this would be really a good thing.
Yes. The term we use, the debt of honor, for watching what some of these men and women have endured and the trauma they've endured, in combat and even in just service. So it was something I wanted to give back to the veteran community.
We make that promise that we'll be here. You can trust that we're going to continue to do this. And, if they need us, we want them to stay in the program as long as possible. There's never a cost for the veteran that wants to come out. There's never a cost for our program. They can stay here as long as they like, and it's their opportunity to be with veterans, be with people who understand them, and for their chance to give back.
What an amazing program. Love, love, love horses. When we come back, you are going to love what we have for you next. We're going to a farm sanctuary, and we're going to meet some baby goats. Stay tuned. Lauren's Crazy Pet Show is coming right back. Oh, look at these guys, they are so adorable. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Lauren's Crazy Pet Show. We promised you baby goats, and look, we're actually not only showing you baby goats, we're feeding them. We are on location in South Salem at Animal Nation, where all of the animals here are rescues.
Yes, Lauren, they all are rescues, and that's what we do here at Animal Nation. Animal Nation has 4 main divisions. We have our companion pets, which is why we have 3 adoption centers, one in Norwalk, one in Stamford, and one in Darien, where we take in stray, unwanted pets, get them fully vetted with our partner veterinarians, and then find them forever loving homes through our adoption program. We have our farm sanctuary, where we take all displaced farm animals, stray farm animals. We do our best to place them in like-minded homes where they'll be forever pets. And we also do wildlife rehabilitation, where we take in injured, sick, and orphan wildlife with the main goal of releasing those animals back out into the wild.
And today we actually saw a rescue being brought in, a little duck that was rescued from a storm drain.
Yeah, so we had a little wood duckling that was found in a storm drain right at Mount Kisco, and he's actually dorming with 4 other little wood ducklings that came in from a storm drain in Brewster a couple days ago.
And of course, I got a very special treat. I got to see the owls, the baby owls. Yeah. So where are they from?
Those 3 little screech owls, again, came in from Mount Kisco this morning. They were all fluttering around the street, covered in diarrhea. They're too young to be out of the nest, so we're suspecting some type of secondary poisoning from rat or mouse poison.
Wow. So a lot of the animals are brought here from people that maybe find them?
People often know us. We're one of the few rescues that do wildlife here in Westchester County. We're also called a lot by the 911 system, the police department, but we're licensed by the state, so if somebody calls the State Department of Environmental Conservation, they're going to send them our way as well.
And Patrick, do my eyes deceive me, or is that an emu?
This is an emu. This is Didge. She came to us almost 2 years ago. She was rescued by a Good Samaritan who was passing an emu slaughter farm and couldn't resist but to save 2 of them. So she's actually one of 2 that we have. Kevin stays with the horses. Kevin's actually a girl. Kevin thinks she's a horse. Didge has stuck closer to us. She was actually raised by Animal Embassy, who has been on your show before, so she's a little bit more used to people.
He's a pecker, right? Yeah. And who is that? That's one of your goats?
This is Tucker. He was pulled off a slaughter truck. He came with a big tumor, almost tumor-looking abscess hanging from his neck. He has an immune disease called CAE, which we see in goats and sheep. That was the reason that he was going to the slaughterhouse, and somebody saw him and saw how sick he was and felt awful, so they got him out, and he ended up here for medical care.
Oh, he likes the emu.
He likes the emus.
Oh, cute. And then the little baby goats that were so adorable. Yeah. They have their own story too.
Yeah, so the little goats, we took actually 118, 85 of them were being bottle fed from Marist College that closed their working farm down, and all the animals were going to slaughter. So we were able to step in and remove over 200 animals from that farm, working closely with another organization called Hudson Valley Animal Rescue and Sanctuary. And Catskill Animal Sanctuary stepped in and took some of those babies as well.
It's amazing. You even have horses here. What is the story on the horses?
We have 2 horses. Lyra was owned for 20 years. She was gifted to another organization to work with emotionally disturbed children, and she failed the therapy program. She's not a very therapeutic horse. So the owner was meant to take that horse back, and she did not. So she was actually going to go to the auction as well, and we stepped in and took her. And then we have Little Meadow, who was taken out of an auction house. She was being used for medical testing, was given to a rescue, which has gone under, unfortunately, and we worked with them and accepted her into the rescue here.
What's amazing, Patrick, is they all get along. I haven't seen any fights here at all. They're sort of free-ranging and having a great time.
Yeah, I mean, that's our big belief here, is we try to balance freedom and safety, keeping all the animals safe. So everybody comes in the barn at night where they sleep and they're protected from predators, but we do give them enough space. They have as much food as they need to be able to live harmoniously with each other.
But it takes a lot of work. So what can people that are watching this do to lend a hand?
We always need volunteers. I mean, not even coming and taking care of animals necessarily. Lawyers, marketing, anyone that has a professional service they can provide, a talent, we're open to hearing anybody's offering. Financial is definitely the biggest part we're dealing with now. It's very expensive to care for all these animals. Just food and hay and shavings alone, we're looking at over $3,000 a month just for this one division to function.
Wow. You do such amazing work here, and we should say that I've known you for a very long time, because when you were like a wee tot, you came on to our Pet Talk show. And so your love of animals has blossomed into this beautiful passion. You must be very proud.
I am. It's great to see what it's become and how many people are now involved and the support from the community. I can't wait to see what it looks like in another 2 years from now.
Okay, when we come back, we'll have an update on one of your very favorite fluffy guests. Stay tuned. Lauren's Crazy Pet Show is coming right back. Welcome back to Lauren's Crazy Pet Show, everyone. We just saw those adorable baby goats, but I think we might have had that beat because look, I have a baby opossum right here with me. How adorable is this? We are here again at Ferncroft Wildlife Rescue. We had to come back. Huge fan favorite. We wanted to update you on what's going on here. Plus, it's baby season. And Pam and Bill, wow, you have babies.
Yes, we have babies.
Sure do.
It's baby season, and we have a full house. We're very busy right now. Actually, we have 5 young ones that all came in as singletons. Very interesting stories on some of them. One of them was found walking around in a woman's living room when she got up. Her dog must have brought it in the night before. And when she came downstairs, here was this little opossum. And she called us right away. She follows us on Facebook, and she knew. And she brought that little one to us, and that is Penny. And then we have one that was a sole survivor, kind of sad. Mom was hit by a car and all the siblings, but this one little sole survivor was in the road, and again, the person brought him to us. We have a really tiny baby that I want to show you that you're really gonna like. This is Judy, and we just got Judy last night. Judy only weighs 77 grams, so she's just about 2 ounces, and she was found walking around in this woman's backyard. And again, this is a person that follows us on Facebook, and she knew what to do. This is the season when the babies are big enough that they're coming out of the pouch, and they're climbing on their mother's back, and they're riding on their mother's back because she can't carry them all inside her pouch. But if they lose her, if they can't run fast enough, or if they fall off the back, the mothers don't count, and if the mother doesn't know one fell off, she just keeps going. And this is one of the species of animals that doesn't go back. And that's what we do at Ferncroft. Our job really is to rehab. We take animals that have been injured or abandoned, usually babies this season, and we help get them healthy and ready to be released back into the wild. And it's a long process with opossums. It's several months, all the way up to pre-release pens, where they spend a couple of weeks, sometimes 2 or 3 weeks, with no human contact at all. And during that time, they're doing what we call wilding up. I come down to feed and clean while they're sleeping. What I want is I want that when I open that nesting box to check on them, that they're snarling at me and that they don't want to see me. And then I know it's time to let them go.
Now, of course, there are ones that cannot be released, such as one of our fan favorites, Lavender, who we met last time we were here. But we want to stress, you didn't pick her to be your pet. She just cannot be released.
We did not pick her to be our pet. This is Lavender, and she is wonderful, but she is a non-releasable opossum. Lavender had a head injury and has a little bit of a seizure disorder. The vet certified her as non-releasable, but Lavender loves to go out, and she loves to do educational programs and to meet people, and the kids love Lavender. We also have Patch. He's down in the outside pen today. He's so happy to be down there. And Patch got hit face first with a car, and he really did get severe brain injury. Patch could never be released because he doesn't know enough to run or to hide. He is beautiful, and he makes an excellent ambassador. And the third non-releasable that we have is Rudy. Rudy, for the most part, lives in the dining room in this pen, but during the day we take Rudy out, and we put him on these blankets near the door where there's some light. Rudy's blind, but we do think that he sees dark and light. And Rudy's favorite thing is when Destiny, our little dog, comes to visit. And Rudy loves it. Last night, Destiny got up to leave, and Rudy was more active than usual because he was sort of crawling around, figuring out, where did Destiny go?
Now, because of what's been going on, you have been unable to do some of your wonderful programs that I know our viewers look forward to going to, but you are still posting every day. People can still see you until you're ready to go out in the field again.
Absolutely. You know, really all of our programs were canceled, and that sort of hurts because there is donations that go along with programs. So yes, I post every day. People are able to follow our opossums, watch them grow. And we also once a week do a little half-hour program live, Facebook Live. We're kind of funny. I think we're kind of like the Lucille Ball show.
I think so, like
because
Tessie
we
and
have
Lucy.
no idea what we're doing.
It's
we turn on the
adorable.
camera and then we wonder if it's really on or not.
It's
But we have
charming.
fun, and people seem to really enjoy our little
it's
videos.
terrific.
And if somebody wants to talk to me, they can just message me, and I'm usually pretty good about answering. So if you've got questions or you want me to show you a particular possum, I'll do that for you.
Oh, they're so cute, and this is such a wonderful sanctuary. Really terrific. When we come back, how does your garden grow? We have some great tips to make sure it's animal friendly. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Lauren's Crazy Pet Show, everybody. It's that time of year. You just got to get back out into the garden, and we've got some wonderful tips to keep your garden safe and friendly for all nature.
Yes, Lauren, there are so many plants that you can, and shrubs and trees, that you can plant on your property to invite nature to come into your yard. And you don't need a big yard like I have. You can have the smallest little parcel. And if you plant a couple of wonderful trees and shrubs or plants, you'll attract butterflies, bees, hummingbirds. I have woodchucks and squirrels and chipmunks and deer, frogs, all kinds of things. I live on a property that has a stream that runs through it, so it's very important for me to be a responsible caretaker of this property. So not only do I plant to encourage nature to come, but I also protect nature by not using any chemicals. Everything is organic here. You can see all sorts of life even in my little stream, from frogs to little fish, and occasionally the heron that's walking down the stream. It's just a wonderful, wonderful experience. I can't stress enough how easy it is and how wonderful it is to just think about planting a few native plants or shrubs to bring this to your own yard. All of the plants along the stream are native, and many throughout the property are native. And the reason for that is because a lot of people don't understand native plants and trees support our native wildlife, and that is insects. Insects are the beginning of the whole cycle. Insects feed the birds. Mother birds don't feed their babies seeds. They feed their babies insects. So when we grow native plants and shrubs and trees, and we don't use chemicals, we allow insects to thrive. The birds eat the insects, the bats eat the insects, the frogs eat the insects. When you have a sterile property that you kill all of your, you spray everything and kill everything, nature cannot coexist and do what it does and balance itself.
Name a couple of specific trees that you feel people should really take a good look at and that can really help them in their garden.
For smaller ones, you can do things such as the calacanthus, which is right here. Calacanthus is also called sweet shrub. Gets a very interesting red flower that smells sort of like strawberries. Fringe tree is another one that has a beautiful white fringy flowers, and they're sweet smelling in the spring. Along the stream, I have pussy willow, which feeds the very early pollinator bees, and also chickadees love the little seed pods. This is a cranberry viburnum, beautiful fall color, flowers in the spring, but big red berries that do feed the mama and papa birds, and also squirrels and chipmunks and other visiting critters.
And what's really amazing is some you say, which look so tall now, started as just little wee things, which is almost hard to believe.
It's the plants, depending on where you plant them, will grow immensely if you give them the right situation, the sun, the water. For example, out in the backyard, I have a pin oak.
Now you say that was a little bitty tree when you planted it, and it looks absolutely huge.
Yep,
When did you plant that?
That is about 12 years ago, and I bought it as, it was probably around, about that big around, and maybe about 6 feet. It was like a tall, thin twig. And again, that's sighting. I knew that it was going to get big, and I knew it liked the soil to be slightly moist. And the back pasture where I have it planted, the ground stays pretty moist. So that's the ideal situation for a native pin oak. They like the sun, they like a little bit of moisture, and it's a gorgeous shade tree that supports over 400 varieties of caterpillars and insects and all sorts of animals, deer and squirrels and chipmunk.
Now, Kathy, this tree is a particularly pretty tree. I like this one a lot. This is what?
It's one of my favorites. It's a native called river birch. It's low maintenance, drought tolerant, and it has this incredible bark. When you think about having a trunk with this gorgeous appealing bark and color and character, that adds a little interest to your garden even in the winter.
Now, what are some suggestions you would have for animals that you don't want to attract? Because I get my tomatoes eaten vegetables every single year, so I need help with that.
One of the things that I do in my own garden is I plant a lot of herbs. Generally speaking, critters don't like even the nice smelling herbs like lavender or sage or mints. They don't like them. So if you put that sort of thing around your plants, that will help. And I have them along most of my garden edges because deer tend to be kind of lazy. They're not going to jump into a garden bed. They're going to browse. They're going to walk along. And I've literally looked out my window and watched them walking along here. What looks interesting. The other thing you may end up having to do, depending if it's a ground level sort of a thing, you might actually have to think about doing some sort of a fence or a caging around it to kind of block the view of the birds and other critters that are seeing your bright red tomatoes that say, come get me.
Oh yeah, I mean, and what's amazing is you're saying you don't use any type of chemicals. I mean, look at your beautiful yard. The grass is gorgeous and so lush.
The trick to the lawn is essentially we mow it pretty high. If you mow your lawn really short, it'll burn. So you mow your lawn taller and it'll always be able to maintain moisture. If you leave your lawn 3 or 4 inches high like we do, then your roots are 3 or 4 inches deep, which allows a lusher looking lawn.
Now, Kathy, I see you have a companion gardener right by your side, a big one at that.
Yes, I do. This is Gatsby. He's a Great Dane that I rescued several years ago. We guesstimate that he is around 6 or 7 years old. He's about 200 pounds. When he was rescued, he was less than 100 pounds. He absolutely loves being outside with me when I'm gardening. He loves to go for short walks. Oh. He's very, very protective. He's a super good guard dog.
He's so beautiful. He has one blue eye.
He has one blue eye and one brown eye, which I've read means that they can see heaven and earth at the same time.
Oh, he's such a love. And I understand he's kind of a little weird about your horses, which coincidentally you rescued from Horse of Connecticut, which we just featured on our show, which we love.
Yep, I have 2 horses. I don't ride anymore, but I have a lot of property, so I love to take a couple of horses that I can take care of and pamper, and they have this whole place to run around and graze.
Now, Kathy, if people want to get in touch with you, where can they find you for more of your wonderful information?
They can follow me. I post almost every day on Instagram and on Facebook. A Garden for All by Kathy Deemer.
Thanks, everybody. This has been Lauren's Crazy Pet Show.